Do you feel anxious when faced with new challenges at work? Do you get panic attacks when faced with a new situation? Does anxiety prevent you from attending social events? Do you make yourself feel better with alcohol, shopping, or binge watching, maybe scrolling social media? Do you doubt yourself? Do you doubt your skills? If anxiety is stopping you from reaching your potential, from reaching what you want, then keep listening. Welcome to my podcast, You Can Be Unstoppable. My name is Evelina and this is episode number 30, titled, Why Am I Anxious and What to Do About it? What is the biggest thing that makes you anxious? Have you ever asked yourself this question? It's probably not the same thing as the person next to you. The way we experience anxiety will be affected by our past experiences, our current circumstances. At the same time, anxiety and depression are on a rise. So many people struggle with worrying thoughts about the future, about future events, about what may happen. And most of it will not happen, yet we spend hours worrying over it. However, anxiety or a little bit of worry is not always bad. A little bit of tension when facing challenges can be very motivating. It can act as a warning sign, and as part of the flight or fight response, it can help us quickly to move away from danger. It is normal to feel a bit anxious before, let's say, a first date, or before moving cities, or before we're just starting a new job, maybe we just got the promotion and now we are the boss of our colleagues. So it's normal to feel a bit anxious, as long as it doesn't interfere with our everyday life. The problem starts when it stops serving us, when it stops motivating us to take action and becomes a problem, detriment to our daily lives. Anxiety can stop you from doing many things, even leaving your home. And I see so many people struggling with anxiety at the moment. We live in very anxious times, as reported by the media. But is that really true? Or is that just their interpretation? Yes, we live in very challenging times, but is this really a reason to be anxious? We need to step out of our heads, out of our overthinking, and reconnect with our hearts, and learn to trust yourself and make the judgment for yourself. Okay, but what is anxiety anyway? It is a fear of the unknown. It's the feeling of uneasiness, uncertainty, apprehension of what may happen. Maybe we feel uneasy about the job interview. Anxiety can show in many different ways. And there are various types of anxiety, such as panic attacks, phobias, social anxiety, separation anxiety, or PTSD. We are very different. We are all very different, and anxiety can manifest itself in a variety of ways. It usually manifests in different ways in men and women. It will show up differently based upon your age or cultural background. It can show up as anger, irritability, guilt, impatience, sometimes as worthlessness, fatigue, self-doubt, or increased heart rate. often shows us rapid breathing, restlessness, trouble concentrating, or having problems with falling asleep. So you see there are many different ways that anxiety can show up. Yet most of the time it's a presenting symptom to a much deeper issue, and not the issue itself. When I work with my clients, we look for the core reason, for the underlying problem that explains and provides clarity and understanding to my clients. And this is really important as we want to remove the problem at its core. So what causes anxiety? The Medical Society believes that anxiety and depression is caused by chemical imbalance in the brain. However, there is plenty of evidence that the majority of people suffers from anxiety or depression. They kind of go close in hand because they may worry about their current circumstances, over the job security, or any other aspect of their lives. Low self-worth and self-confidence or self-esteem can also make us more susceptible to anxiety. Childhood trauma or unresolved emotional hurt from the past can also play a huge part here. According to Johann Hari, there are 9 causes of depression and anxiety, as they often go together, hence I am mentioning depression here. So the reasons are disconnection from meaningful work, disconnection from other people, from meaningful values, disconnection from childhood trauma, from status or respect, disconnection from the natural world, disconnection from hopeful and secure future, and role of genes and brain changes. So you see there is a wide range of possibilities why you may experience anxiety. What's important for me is that most of them are linked to the way we live, interact with other people. And we are more lonely than ever. All of that has an undeniable connection to the past. You may fear speaking up in public or in front of even 2-3 people. Because in school, potentially, let's say you were laughed at and now you get a mild panic attack every time you ask at work to make a presentation to the board. You start shaking and sweating. This also feeds your insecurities. So you see, the underlying reason here in this example is fear. And fear is like a smoke that lives in your brain and takes over. It feeds everything which negatively affects our lives. Yet some people may have chemical imbalance in the brain, but that's not the case for the majority of the population. Personally, I'm not in favor of medication for anxiety. They do have the place, but I am not a doctor and you need to check with your health professional. Everyone is different and you need to find the best solution that will work for you. But as a general rule, I will give you a list of a few best remedies that I find are very helpful with my clients, and they do respond very well to this. So number 1, reconnect with nature. Take a walk, sit outside, go for a hike. Nature improves concentration and it helps with our mood. When you are anxious or depressed, you are a prisoner in your own mind. Overthinking, you're trapped in your story. But when you are out, reconnected with nature, you feel the exact opposite. You have the sense of awe. You feel like you are part of something bigger than yourself. Next one is exercise. Exercise boosts feel-good endorphins. After exercise, you will feel so much better, and it will help you to leave your head and reconnect with your heart. Watch what you eat. Diet is so important. A healthy and nutritious food have a massive impact on how we feel. Practice meditation. Get present. Calm down your thoughts rattling in your head. Next one is mindfulness. In every aspect of your life, practice mindfulness daily and not just for an hour when you meditate. Meditating for 20 minutes every morning, it's not going to help when you get mad at the traffic or shout out your cats every time they trigger you. It's all about practicing mindfulness 24/7. Evaluate your values. Some of them can really make us sick. Do you really need the latest phone or whatever the advertisers are trying to get us to buy? Wouldn't it be more beneficial to work on yourself, to invest in your self-development, and then create a meaningful life? There's nothing wrong with the latest gadget. But do you always need this? Maybe there are other things more important. When we give our personal power away in a way of caring too much what other people think, struggling with boundaries, getting triggered about what someone said, and getting maybe in a heated conversations, worrying how you look to others, all this is giving our personal power away. And by doing this, we are allowing external world to dictate how and when we are happy. Happiness is an internal job. No amount of external validation will bring you joy and happiness. So ask yourself, what motivates you to get up in the morning? What do you love doing? There are plenty of studies that show people who purely pursue extrinsic values, achieving goal after goal, were not happier after achieving them. New promotion, fancy car, new necklace, they won't improve your happiness. Soon enough, you will be looking for another goal, for another thing to help you to improve how you feel. However, people who pay attention to their intrinsic goals and achieve them do become significantly happier, less depressed and anxious. For example, they become better friends or better mums and dads only because they wanted to. Helping someone just because it's a nice thing to do boosts your happiness. Yet, our culture is set up to chase that extrinsic goals. Get good grades, get a well-paid job, rise through the ranks, show your earnings through cars and clothes. And the society, the culture tells us that this is how we make ourselves feel good. And I'm saying this is all backwards. 12 different studies have shown that the more materialistic and extrinsically motivated we are, the more anxious we will be. We really need to find this balance between both intrinsic and extrinsic values. We do need money to get food and shelter, and there's nothing wrong with getting nice things. However, we need to find the fine balance between both. Find a support or a peer group that you can connect with. Go gardening. I do sea kayaking and I absolutely love it because it ticks so many different boxes for me. Next one that is really important for me is to develop a sense of identity. Create an identity of a person that you want to be. Who do you think you are? Will you be the same person 20 years from now? What is the relationships between you in the past and you in the future? Are you the same person all along? And obviously, my favorite is hypnosis, because it helps you to identify the root cause of the issue. To deal with any unresolved issues, emotional trauma and past, hypnosis is very quick and effective. So, after you've heard all this, what do you think? Are you willing to try any of those steps? I highly recommend you to read a book by Johann Hari titled Lost Connections. It will open